authors. I'm Joanne Morrell, children's and young adult fiction writer and author of short non-fiction for authors. Thanks for joining me for the Hybrid Author podcast, sharing interviews from industry professionals to help you forge a career as a hybrid author, both independently and traditionally publishing your books. You can get the show notes for each episode and sign up for your free author pass over at the Hybrid Author website to discover your writing process, get tips on how to publish productively, and get comfortable promoting your books at www.hybridauthor.com.au. Let's crack on with the episode. Hello, authors! I hope you're all keeping well in whatever part of the world you reside and listen to the podcast in. Today's interview is with Polly Holmes on writing cozy mysteries. And Polly shares what cozy mysteries are and what tropes readers can expect when they pick one up, rapid release, and her tips for aspiring authors looking to pursue an authorship career. So in my author adventure this week, my children's fiction is still out on submission, and my non-fiction books for authors, freelance writing and quick tips for fast success and author fears and how to overcome them have had their first 5-star reviews, which I shared on social media. It's been quite quiet on these fronts. I haven't really been actively submitting the children's fiction. It's just still with the publishers that they're with. And the non-fiction books, I haven't really done too much with them this week as well. If you're keen to know how my women's fiction project has been going, you can head on over to the Hybrid Author website to sign up for your free author pass and follow my author adventure there, where you'll receive fortnightly musings from me as well as this update on these books. And that's hybridauthor.com.au. In my caravan adventure, I'm happy to report that we've hit the road and travelled about 10 hours north, heading to the Carangini the first day, and we had a free camp stopover at night, which was filled with red dirt. And as soon as I opened the caravan door, there was large bones, which in the sand that kind of looked like human remains. So I was laughing about that. And the next day was another sort of long drive day to get us up to the Carangini. So I keep saying Carangini, it's Carigini, and what a magical place it was. It's free camping again. Dirt, very red dirt. We were absolutely covered from head to toe in red dirt inside and outside the caravan, and in the car my new running shoes are wrecked. But yeah, what an absolutely magical place. Gorges galore. We did a lot of gorge walking and just find these beautiful spots that are it's just absolute untouched nature. Bats flying in the sky, watching out for snakes, and also keeping an eye for dingoes when we were barbecuing our breakfast and lunch and things like that, because they come out in the morning and at night, and we were told it was a real problem at that place. Someone's fed them, so they keep coming in. And when I told my children about it, they were super scared, didn't want to be there anymore. But when they saw them, they just looked like feral, scabby dogs, malnourished as well, which you just feel sorry for them instantly, but need to remember that they are wild and you just can't feed them. So that all added to the adventure there. And now we are in Karatha, very hot, some flies, not as many as the Carigini, but catching up with friends and people we know here. It is sort of coming into their cooler months here, but still in the 30 degrees. And, I caught up with my friend and she was like, oh, I should have put jeans on. And I just thought, are you kidding? I feel like I should have no clothes on. Apparently in the summer it gets to like 40 degrees here and you just can't go outside. It's crazy. So heading off to making our way to Broome afterwards, and it's all a go. Homeschool has been happening. We seem to be getting in a bit of a groove with that finally, which is good. And yeah, just trying to navigate life in a caravan. It's hard and it's amazing and it's all the things. It's kind of hard in a small space. It really is, with like 4 people, and but we're getting there. And we've only been gone the week, but it feels like it's a long time. So, but it's been amazing so far. So if you love the podcast or any of the episodes has helped you further in your author career, you can now pay it forward by buying me a coffee over at buymeacoffee.com/thehybridauthor. Let's all support each other. Polly
Holmes is an award-winning Australian author who writes paranormal and culinary cozy mysteries and paranormal suspense. Holly lives near the beach in the northern suburbs of Perth, Western Australia, with her Bichon frites, Bella. When she's not writing, you can find her sipping coffee in her favourite cafe or watching reruns of Murder, She Wrote. Welcome to the Hybrid Author Podcast, Holly.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
We're absolutely honoured to have you and find out all about the cozy mystery genre. But first, can you tell us, how did you come to be a hybrid author by writing in the suspense, romantic suspense and murder mystery genres?
Sure. I started writing about 12 years ago, just as a hobby, but I really started thinking seriously about it about 5 or 6 years ago. I never thought that I would actually get anything published, but it was a bucket list item that I wanted to do. I just wanted to have one book published on my bucket list. So I went about learning how to write. Huge self-doubt kicked in, and I really suffer with imposter syndrome, which I'm working on all the time. But I learnt the craft. I perfected my manuscripts and I sent them off, and I got a contract from three different publishers for 3 different books. Wow. So I was basically on the way to being a published author. So that was a really, really exciting experience, and an eye-opener as well into the traditional publishing arena. But I kind of struggled a bit with two of my publishers being in the US and only ebook publishers, because I really wanted to hold that book in my hand. So that's when the self-publishing track called me, and I thought, you know what, I might just give it a go and see if I like it. I can always go back, but I absolutely love it. I love self-publishing, and I love the fact that I can control virtually everything in there. I love also, when it comes to mystery and romantic suspense, I am an obsessive person that loves danger and mystery, and having the lead heroine almost in danger, but someone came to save the day. But I found my niche when I found cozies. So cozy mysteries are really something that I'm very passionate about, doing a traditional cozy. So I found my niche, and all those years of watching Nancy Drew and Murder, She Wrote are paying off now.
Yeah, oh wow, what an incredible story. And it sounds like, that everybody, a lot of authors, and including myself, I speak to, they seem to go through that imposter syndrome and self-doubt phase. And I say now that I think that's actually part of the author process, because everyone I speak to, it seems to be such a rite of passage almost to feel that. I don't know anybody who's just been like, yeah, this is me, I'm great, like in the author
I
sphere.
totally agree with you. Yeah, you almost have to go through it to know what it's about, to come out on the other side and go, you know what, I can actually do this, and I can actually write a book and do the best that I can. But I think the key is also continuing to learn as you go along, so that you're not, you're always learning the craft or the industry.
Yeah, and I don't think no matter where you are, I guess, in this industry, do you know it all or anything? I think you can always learn. So especially a group I'm part of, it's established and aspiring authors, and even all the workshops that we have, it's a mix of both. It's not just aspiring ones that are there, it's other people who have established themselves in the industry. But what I love about your story as well, you're not just a hybrid in the genres, you're also a hybrid with traditional publishing through the formats with the ebooks and then doing print yourself. So no audiobooks yet, or?
Not yet, no, but there is the hope. I'm off to Paris for a signing next year, so I would like to get them translated into French before I go, but that's a goal, so we'll just see how we go on that one.
Fantastic. That's an awesome goal. Yeah, I love that. Well, today we are going to focus more on the murder mystery side of your writing rather than the romantic suspense. So I've heard of cozy mysteries before. I can't say I'm a massive mystery reader, so I'm really interested to know, and our listeners out there, for anybody else as well, what is cozy mystery? What's defined as that over, say, just mystery?
The cozy mystery is very big in the US, but it's virtually very new here in Australia, especially WA. So there isn't many cozy mystery writers in Australia. So basically, it's much like the series Murder, She Wrote, as I mentioned earlier. So if you wanted to imagine Jessica Fletcher moved into your neighbourhood from Cabot Cove, who would start worrying if they were the next victim? Because wherever Jessica Fletcher is, someone always dies. So, or if it was one of your friends that got caught up in the mystery. So when you think cozy mystery, you think Miss Marple, Agatha Christie, Jessica Fletcher, Rosemary and Thyme,
Is it
Nancy
that
Drew.
Poirot? I can't say it. Is he
Yes,
cozy
yep,
as well?
correct,
Yeah.
yes, yep. Yeah, the difference with the cozy is it's very clean and there's no blood or guts or gore or anything, so it's an easy read. So while they could be written for adults, teenagers and young adults could actually read them as well. So there's usually a amateur sleuth, usually a female, but it doesn't have to be, who somehow stumbles either into the murder, across the body, or a family member has found it, and the objective is to solve the mystery and work out who the murder suspect is, whether it might be a family or friend, work out if the victim has any connections with them, follow the clues along the way, and hopefully there's usually a time running out element. So before their best friend goes to jail, they've got to find the murderer. So and there's a lot of red herrings along the way, so a few obstacles that they've got to work through. So it's a lot of fun, especially planning one and who you're going to murder and who the red herrings are going to be. But generally, yeah, it's just a nice, comfortable murder mystery to read, and you try and find the murderer before the end of the book, and hopefully you're right.
Oh no, that sounds amazing. So were these the types of stories that you grew up on, or you enjoyed reading, that you inevitably ended up writing?
Yes, I grew up with Nancy Drew. Also grew up with Sweet Valley High, which was the teenage romance series of my era, which is the 80s. So I still actually have all those in my bookcase now. So there's always an element. Yep.
I too was a fan.
They generally, well, it was young romance. They still had a lot of mystery to those and a lot of danger. So I think that's what led me into it. But getting back into, I didn't actually know they were called a cozy until I actually found the covers. And my friend said, oh, they're a cozy. Once she explained it, I thought, oh, well, I've been doing that all my life.
Yeah.
And I've been reading those all my life. So I'm sure I can write one of these.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. That's really good. So obviously loving that genre, reading it, well, realizing you're reading it too. And I've got to say, I had bookshelves full of Sweet Valley High, and I grew up in Scotland, so they all got sold when we moved back here, which was a shame. I think my mum was sick because they were obviously a fortune, and then she obviously sold them off. So yes, reader, lover of the genre, realizing you're writing cozy mysteries. Did you join a writers group or anything, or did you find a group that wrote in that specific area?
I did, mostly on Facebook. There's a lot of cozy mystery Facebook groups, some for publishing your cozy mysteries, some for reader only, some for promoting, but then some for also skill. So you can ask a question if you're having a problem, or get some advice. I think through COVID and all that, that's really thrived for the cozy industry. I mean, everyone has them on Facebook, but there is so many on cozy mysteries on Facebook. So yeah, and I also have a writers group, just a few friends that also do the reading and the beta reading and all of that. So they can help me if the mystery's wrong, or I've got a plot hole and that. So, but yeah, I think Facebook, and generally because they're a wider community as well, being from all around the world, not just in Australia or WA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good though, to get an international perspective on cozy mysteries. No, I love that. Well, you touched upon what someone can expect, what a cozy mystery is, and obviously there's a murder and trying to figure out who solved. You've got to solve it, obviously. What are the kind of tropes you might find in cozy mystery? Like things like, is there certain types of murders, like relative that murdered, or lover that murdered, or complete stranger that had a discrepancy? Is that a kind of trope, or that's kind of different to just murder mystery?
I mean, I think they can expect a good mystery. That's the number one thing, is if it's a good mystery, you'll keep the reader. So you've got to be, get that hook. And if they can follow along and they're into the mystery, they'll try and solve the mystery before the end of the book. So I think the trick is really getting the hook, which is usually an underlying theme. So I write culinary cozies, and I write paranormal culinary cozies. So I go for the food, but there's also the hobbies and pets and careers, and that's the biggest trope in a sense, because it all relates around the sleuth's business, and what they're actually doing, and usually that's intertwined in that. Every murder, they're not gory or anything, so you usually just get told what happens with the murder. They don't always have to be a murder either. as long as there's some sort of mystery or danger or element there.
Or attempted murder.
Yes, there could be attempted murder, yeah, or blackmail, or something like that. Usually, it is close to home or close to the main sleuth. Otherwise, there would be no reason for her to start investigating if there wasn't a connection. It's generally not anyone to do with the police, so no sleuth is ever a policeman. So they're amateur sleuths, so they may have a police connection, but they don't ever actually are in the force, sort of things. There's usually often a romance sometimes as well. So a lot of readers like a continuing romance, like simmers over the time to build up in a certain book over the series. But they generally like a series. A standalone cozy is kind of non-existent. You need to have a series, but you must never leave a cliffhanger. So that's an important trope. You have to solve the murder in a cozy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be quite annoying to kind of get to the end of the book and you didn't know it wasn't finished.
It's a standard thing with a cozy. There's about 14 or 15 traditional elements that you have to put in a cozy, and one of them is no cliffhanger. It's usually a small town. The amateur sleuth is usually the female or runs the business. Yeah, so there's a lot of quirky characters. The readers, like I say, want to fall in love with the characters and actually follow their life as well. So, which is what I try and bring to my books, is those great characters that they can really either see themselves in them characters or a family member in the characters as well.
Yeah, so it's the main sleuth is carried through, she or he, but mainly she is the main protagonist through the whole series, really solving the thing.
Generally, yeah. I've got when I actually first wrote my Cupcake Capers, I didn't realise that. So I saw the covers and saw 3 different girls. So what I did was made it 3 sisters. So each book is about the 3 sisters, and then it goes about to the town. So the 3 sisters are always solving the murders together, and they're helping out. But the second series, my paranormal, yes, the lead character is always the lead character, and it's always from her point of view as well.
Oh, I love that. I think that's really clever. And your book covers look fantastic. And I love that. I've never heard of that before, from the business sort of side of it. And you've gone with the culinary, obviously, like cyanide and cupcakes and all that. I think it just looks fantastic. It's very cool. It sounds like there's a lot of planning maybe go into these works before you even start writing, a lot of plotting and things like that. Could someone sit down and just write till their heart's content without planning, or do you recommend that authors kind of put a structure in place? It's better maybe for the story, where you're going in that direction, do you think? Or
I think it's a very personal choice. In the industry, you have something called a pantser or a plotter. So if you're a pantser, you just write by the seat of your pants and see how it goes. And then there's the plotter who likes to plan. I'm a plotter simply for the fact that I need to know. I start with my victim and my murderer, and then I work backwards and work out what the red herrings are, and I like to have it planned. So I think if someone wanted to write a mystery, absolutely, or a cozy mystery, definitely, but I would still do just a little bit of, internet research on what it is and what are my tropes. But you could definitely write it if you're a pantser. Yeah, just go for it, just as long as you get the features right in terms of a cozy, because if they're not, it moves into a different genre, so it'll be suspense or mystery suspense rather than cozy mystery.
Okay. Sounds like there's a fine line, isn't there?
There is, yes.
Oh, that's good. Well, how many books do you have out? And that is with you said you do the print books yourself and the ebooks are through the publisher. Yeah, how many? And I
actually do them all myself now. So I self-publish my ebooks and my print books. So print books are available through Gumnut Press. So I am Gumnut Press as well. I do them through there, and I have one coming out at the end of this month, if I can get it written, and I'm sure I will. So I've got 7 in the Witches series, and I have 5 in the culinary. But the culinary will have 8, and the Witches will have 10. So, and I'm starting a new magic bookshop one for 2024. So I'll have 3 different cozy series out. Yeah. But I think I'll stick with the paranormal because I'm really loving creating that imaginary world and the magic spells and what you can do with all of the magic. So I write them in a town where
you can kill with the magic.
Exactly. And how can you kill them with magic? So so because it's all made up, you can do it however you like.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a huge number of books. So how big are these books, and do you write them pretty quickly, I would imagine? Are you a rapid release author?
At the moment, it's slow and steady for me, but I'm actually a full-time teacher, so drama teacher. So I'm trying to fit in around that. I wanted to do a rapid release. I wanted to be one of those rapid release authors, but then I kind of started and went, oh, wow, this is a lot. So I try and do about 4 books a year if I can, if not a 5. So it just depends.
That's pretty rapid to me.
Yeah, so they're usually around 350 pages. So they're usually in between 55 and 60,000 words, which is standard for a cozy. Sometimes it's a little bit shorter, but I write the story that's ready to be told. I don't add extra stuff in there that's not needed. So however long the story is till I find the end is how long I write it. So yeah, it tells me what I need to write.
Yeah.
And usually all of a sudden there's a new person in there, or there's a new witch arrived, or something else has happened, and I have to actually extend it. But
that's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. I too have taken on what I'm hoping is a rapid releasing, and I'm already miles behind because it's just, but like you said, you know, you've got full-time work and trying to fit it in sometimes around life and things can be a bit tricky, can't it?
Certainly can.
Yeah, so that's it. Well, do you have any tips for aspiring authors who are looking to pursue an author career in any regard, you know, even the writing or the publishing or anything you knew you would have told yourself before you started in the beginning?
Definitely. I think the biggest thing is just to never give up. I know we say that really easily and, you know, oh, don't give up, keep going. But there's always a point where you want to go, I'm no good at this and I want to give up. You've just got to work through that. Because if that's the dream that you want, or if that's the goal you want, you've got to step over that fear and keep going. I think one of my biggest thing, which I didn't write in my notes, was don't believe the first person who tells you everything, because they may not be as adverse in the industry as you think. Get more opinions, get another opinion, go and ask someone else. Don't believe the first thing the first editor tells you. Do research on the people that you're working with or the people that want to work with you, so that you actually immerse yourself in the industry and around the right people, because you can get into the industry very easily, but you need to be with the right people that are going to help you shine and help you flourish. And ask. I was very afraid to ask any questions because I was this new author at the beginning, and I could have learnt a lot quicker if I had have just asked the questions instead of just going, oh, no, I'll be okay, I'll find it. I would have jumped ahead a lot. But and also choose the avenue you like. So don't be forced into doing traditional publishing if you want to be a self-publisher, and vice versa. Don't be forced into self-publishing if you want to be a traditionally published author, or do both. So it's never ending, and it's a constant change. This industry changes so quickly. So one year werewolves are in and the next year they're not. So but I think it's really just never give up. Knockbacks are just little speed bumps along the way, and you just got to get over the speed bumps and then you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, those are some absolutely sound advice, tips there, and really solid, I think, for authors. I remember when I first started out and I had a couple of traditional publishing critiques for a manuscript, and I went away and I spent like the whole year after this critique kind of rewriting it to how they gave me feedback for, to then go the following year. It was like a retreat I was on to get it critiqued again by someone else, and they said something completely different, and I thought, oh, hang on, you're going to publish it this way or say this, and you're going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to keep changing it to suit someone else. And penny kind of dropped for me there, and I thought, no, you have to take and from now then on I take feedback with like a pinch of salt with people, and yes,
I agree.
That's good, or no, not so much, you know. So getting lots of different opinions I think is key as well.
So I think that was my problem, is I believed in the beginning, I believed everyone I spoke to and gave me that feedback. I was a bit like you, rather going, oh, actually, I don't know about that. I'll just ask someone else if that's actually right, or change it. The other thing that I can recommend is entering competitions. There's a lot of competitions in America, like there's, it could be the first 500 words, and you're just getting feedback. You don't have to take it, but often you'll get really good feedback. You might even win. You'll get feedback, and you'll be able to learn from that as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. So you obviously you went down the traditional path and then sort of started self-publishing, and now you're just fully self-publishing. Are you looking to go back to the traditional path for any other book ideas you've had, or you're just loving the way self-publishing is going for you?
I do. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm open to both avenues. I do love self-publishing because I can do my own. I'm on my own time frame. So if I don't get it done, I'm not going to let anyone down, only myself. So I still try and get it done. But I do like that decision of what cover I'm going to have. I've got a fabulous cover designer, so I love to get to design that. With traditional publishing, you don't get the last say. So it's much of muchness. So I'm not sure. So I wouldn't say no. I do have some that I'm thinking of sending off, but just because why not?
Yeah.
And just see what feedback I get. But yeah, I really enjoy doing it myself and getting those 4 or 5 star reviews on the books, knowing that I did it all.
Yeah.
And that's a real accomplishment when you do have someone saying, wow, I can't believe you did all that, or you wrote it and published it. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yes, well done. Your covers look fantastic and the books are amazing. And thank you so much for your time and expertise, Polly. Everything you said has just been incredible. Can you tell our listeners, who I'm sure are chomping at the bit now to discover where they can get your books and all about yourself online or in store?
Absolutely. They can pop over to my website, which is www.pollyholmesmysteries.com, and you'll find out all about me and my books. And I also have another pen name that I write romance under, so I'm there on that. You can follow me on Instagram. So I've got PLHarris_PollyHolmes_author, or I've also got a Facebook group. So once you get onto my Polly Holmes author Facebook page, you'll find a group there. We do lots of sharing, lots of chatting, always around on social media. You can drop me a message through my website. I'd love to hear from you. And my books are available, print books through gumnutpress.com and ebooks on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time, Polly. That was amazing.
Thank you for having me. I've had a blast.
So there you have it, folks. The mystery writing reveal from publishing powerhouse Polly Holmes. And you should check out her books. The covers are absolutely delicious and they're just fantastic if you love the genre. So next time on the Hybrid Author Podcast, we have fantasy author Alex Holland chatting fantasy fiction secrets. I wish you well in your author adventure this next week. That's it from me. Bye for now.
That's the end for now, authors. I hope you're further forward in your author adventure after listening, and I hope you'll listen next time. Remember to head on over to the Hybrid Author website at www.hybridauthor.com.au to get your free author pass. It's bye for now.